Welcome to another edition of the Sports Rush. We're live on a Sunday. It is Selection Sunday. The selections are complete, so we've got a lot to break down, including a Purdue Big Ten tournament championship. We didn't
Hey,
see this coming, did we?
hey, good evening. No, we did not. I really thought it was just going to be another easy one for Michigan, but maybe the Wolverines' minds are a little bit further ahead. But we'll see. We'll see. That was a good win for Purdue, though. They're going to be coming into the tournament hot.
We've got the latest and greatest brackets because they are hot off the press. We can tell you who's going to play who, give you a chance to weigh in, and we will give you thoughts on maybe some early upsets to keep an eye out for. I've got a couple that I'm already watching. I found it interesting when CBS gave the stats. I don't know if you saw this, but CBS gave some stats over the last 10 years. It's not the 12-5 that's pulling off the upsets. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Number 11 has a winning record against number 6
Huh?
in the last 10 years. They've won 52.5% of those games. So I guess
Yeah.
if you want to be the brainiac and the bracket winner, you might want to look closely at those 11 versus 6 matchups because that's where it's happened over the last 10 years, not 5-12. Everybody used to love the 5-12 matchup. And I think in the old days of college basketball, the 5 was generally one of the lower teams from the power conferences that got in, and the 12 was one of the best of the smaller schools, and that left the door open to some upsets. But now that they've got the play in where you've got teams like North Carolina State and Texas playing to earn a number 12 seed, you don't have those Cinderella stories on the 12 line anymore. Some of them have made it to the 11 line. Some of them are going to come from that 13-14 section. Wright State. I like the matchup. There were plenty of number 3 seeds that I would not have liked Wright State, but Wright State against Virginia, I give them a
Hey,
chance.
Virginia is known for losing to lower seeds. I mean, they've also gone on and won the whole thing, but recently. But hey, UMBC, who beat them in that 116 back in 2018, is back in the tournament. The
Yes, they
Retrievers.
are. And
So,
I got some numbers on UMBC. I actually did a little research on UMBC, so I'll give
oh
you that
man,
too.
let's go.
Uh,
You are locked
also,
in.
also, hey, this is the big news. Okay, I have 2 front row next to the on deck circle, the Tin Caps on deck circle. 2 front row tickets to a Tin Caps game, and you could win them. Not you, Adam. I'm not talking directly to you. I'm talking to our listeners.
Well, this sucks. No.
There's a way that we're going to make these available. Somebody's going to win them. I just bought them last week. Yes, I bought them. I was online. I was looking at some games. I found a weekend game with 2 front row seats. I said, snap, I'm going to grab these. I don't know what I'm going to do with them because I'll probably be working. And then it hit me. Perfect prize.
Wow.
So we're
This
gonna
is
we're gonna
our
give details on how you could be a winner right here with the Sports Rush. 2 front row tickets to a Tin Caps game on a weekend, and we'll tell you how you can win coming up.
it's going to be our first YouTube giveaway, I think. Have you given away anything without me here?
I can't afford to give anything away, Adam. I'm
It's not in the budget.
no, no, we don't have a budget. This is just like a radio show. We have no budget.
No, but I do miss being able to do occasional giveaways. So I'm glad that we're going to be able to do that. That's super cool.
Can you imagine we had a show? Think how bad we must have been to have a show canceled that actually cost them nothing and made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and they
uh,
cancel. It's like we don't like making money. We we we
uh,
we are going to send this guy packing.
uh,
Anyway, we're glad to be on YouTube. We're glad you're joining us. Make sure you do subscribe while you're here. Also, make sure that you click the thumbs up button. We love those likes. And we also would encourage you to click the bell to get alerts when we do go live. Today is a little late. Normally we go at 6 o'clock on Sunday if we've got 6 o'clock open.
we had
Today,
something to do today. Yeah.
Well, probably all of our listeners had something to do today at 6 o'clock.
That too.
Find out where their favorite team was going to be playing and see who's going to be playing who and where and when, because you got to decide what day this week, Thursday or Friday, is going to be your sick day, right?
Got to be ready to get those excuses ready. I mean, your kid could be sick. You might have a basement that flooded. You never know what could happen on a
Is there
Thursday.
any statistic, official statistic, that tells us how many men in America take either Thursday or Friday or both off this week? Because I know a number. Now I'm connected to a lot of sports people, but I know guys that for years have gotten together with a group of buddies, maybe even since college, where they get together and watch nonstop wall to wall basketball on the first 2 days of the tournament. And so I bet there's some people that are avid basketball fans that cannot miss anything that happens on those first 2 days. I'll tell you this: the ones that don't take off, how many of them have a computer where they're streaming the game secretly in their office? They've got
Right.
what is that privacy button or the you've got a button that if you hit it real quick, it flips to a screen that makes it look like some spreadsheet or something?
Oh,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
You've not heard about that?
I've never heard of that.
Wow, there
I don't know.
there's an app or there's something where you can stream, but all you have to do is, like, hit your space bar, like, real quick. Somebody all of a sudden, the boss starts walking in and boom, hit that space bar. It immediately jumps to some type of spreadsheet, so it looks like you're just diligently working in your office instead of actually watching the games.
Oh, that's
Uh,
fantastic.
yeah. Purdue
Uh,
is gonna play on Friday to the, Boilermaker fans. I'll just give you that heads up as we'll break down the brackets here coming up in just a couple of minutes. Rick's weighing in. Let me guess. To have a chance to win, you must be a subscriber and comment. Oh, his comment just scrolled. Yes, Rick, that is going to be part of the criteria. You do have to make yourself known by being a subscriber. Here's the problem: is you're going to have to register in some fashion to be able to win these tickets. Some people, though, sign up with a real name, but the screen name that we're seeing doesn't match their real name. So we need to know who you are. So you do want to comment, you do want to subscribe, and we'll find you if your name doesn't match. But just let us know that you want to enter and make sure you. So while you're watching this, you might want to go ahead and take care of the preliminary steps to win the tickets because you've got to be a subscriber. It's totally free to subscribe. So there's no purchase necessary. You just click the button to subscribe. And it really is, I mean, it's not like there's a commitment. It's not like we take over your computer screen if you're a subscriber. We don't. I think you might get an alert that one of your subscribers is live, but even that can be muted unless you hit the bell and ask for the alert. So, who we got here? Rob?
yeah,
Uh,
Rob.
Windows updates gives you an excuse to be doing anything great towards the end of the day. We
Okay.
haven't got game times yet, but we just know Purdue is going to be on a Friday, and Purdue gets the number 2 seed. They would not have had a number 2 seed if they did not win that tournament. I know that the committee had to flip some things around. My guess,
Yeah.
my guess is that it's possible that Michigan State or Illinois was the team that might have been on the bubble for the number for the 2 line because the committee chairman admitted that Purdue went in to the Big Ten tournament on the 11 line, and with each win, they worked up and eventually ended up at number 8 after their championship, which then put them in the top 8. That put them in the second tier. That was a number 2 seed. But who did they pass between 11 and 8? I guess Michigan State and Illinois are 2 teams they very possibly passed up. And I looked at the bracket and I thought you could easily flip Purdue and Illinois. So if they needed to make a flip between a 2 and a 3, they could have just flipped the names Illinois and Purdue because again, you don't want to have two Big Ten teams playing in the first weekend and stuff like that. But they could have easily flipped those two teams. So that's my guess. Um, but yeah, the Big Ten tournament just got it done. It was wall to wall coverage on 1380 The Fan. Big thanks to Midwest Box Breaks. Also, gotta mention we've got some sponsors for the radio coverage of the NCAA tournament, courtesy of Westwood One, Testers Sales in New Haven, and of course Midwest Box Breaks presenting our tournament coverage. And we've got like 30 some games that we will be covering during the NCAA tournament on radio. Um, yeah, Rick Longsworth. He has a better idea. Instead of worrying about how to take those 2 days off or how to sneak around and watch games, he just retired. That made it perfect.
That's
He
always
can
an
watch
option.
he can watch basketball all year long. In
Uh,
fact, I know Rick for a fact will watch games from the night before and watch the stream of them the next day. I've caught him doing that too. That's the joy of being retired. Uh, but but anyway, once again, if you've got any comments, go ahead and drop those to us. Make sure you do subscribe so you'll be eligible when we give you details on how to win Tin Caps front row tickets. Hey, got to talk a little bit about high school basketball before we get into the NCAA tournament. Of course, I made the trip down to Newcastle, first time ever at the Newcastle Fieldhouse. What a fantastic, archaic type of place. It's an old facility, old cement structure. The bleachers do not push in and out. They are permanent bleachers. They go all the way around. I counted the rows about 6 times because I had to go up and down the steps because your main concourse is up on the second level, and a lot of places you've got like a hallway that matches the upper hallway on the bottom level, right? A lot of gyms you can walk around bottom level or you can walk around the top, and then you've got stairs that connect the two. Well, in this case at Newcastle, what I found out, they don't have that. In other words, everything is on the upper level. All the concession stands, all of the restrooms, everything was upstairs.
yeah, so anytime you went down, you had to basically go all the way back up. There was
Yeah,
nothing
so
down at
when
the
I went
lower.
down to broadcast, I was thrilled I got that courtside position. And I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse because I
Right.
had quite a workout going up and down like "Oh, I think I'm gonna run to the restroom." Well, that was a workout to go up 24 rows of seats, you know.
Stairmaster over there, man.
Yeah, yeah. Fortunately, I found a couple of people to help me get up and down, so no, I'm kidding. I made it myself. But, no, I did have to I had to go upstairs a couple of times for the restroom, had to go upstairs for the concession stand. Thought I went upstairs for the hospitality room, my hospitality room story.
I
I
saw
love
that, yeah.
hospitality rooms, right?
Gotta
I
love
love it when
hospitality.
people are so courteous to media that they provide some type of beverage or they provide some type of food. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can
Could be a
be
hot
a hot
dog.
dog.
Exactly.
I don't care. I'm not picky about but when we do arrive to do 2 games, and we arrive after traveling an hour and 45 minutes, we get to the facility. We're there an hour and a half before the game because we have to set up the equipment, test the equipment, all of that. We drag the equipment down 24 rows of seats. Um, and then you do a game, then you've got an hour and a half in between games that you've got to burn.
Mhm.
Obviously, I got up in the morning and thought, I'm not that hungry. I can get something. Maybe there'll be a donut. I mean, all I was wanting really was like a donut, just some kind of snack, just to put in my. So I went to the hospitality. I found out there was a hospitality room. I went to it, went in, and got this funny look from the lady, like the startled look, like poison had just been introduced to the environment. And I said, "Is this the hospitality?" She goes, "Yes, but do you have a wristband?" I'm like, "I've got nothing. I got no credential. I got no wristband." I said, "When I came in, there was nobody checking in the media. I just walked in and went and found my spot." She said, "Well, you have to have a wristband." And I said, "Well, I'm with the media." and I'm even wearing a media shirt.
Mhm.
And she said, "Well, no, this is for the schools and officials." She said, "I'll
Oh.
have to check with the athletic director." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Let me check with him and just see." So I left, didn't hear anything, went back down. So between games, I'm obviously getting hungry by that point. Been a long
Mhm.
day. It's already 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hadn't eaten anything, so I thought, "Gonna run upstairs and see if they got everything figured out." Walked in, and I was told that, I had to leave.
Oh, man.
I wasn't welcome in the hospitality room.
So it
40
sounds like
years,
it. Yeah.
40 years of broadcasting. Never have had a hospitality room where they told the media, "Get lost."
Yeah,
And it
that's
wasn't her
rough.
fault,
No.
but the I just maybe we're spoiled up here where we have some great hosts at Logansport, at Huntington North, where they at Marion, when I went to Marion all those years, where hospitality was something you offered media because you appreciated the coverage that they were giving you. And you understood that most of them were not making tons of money. It was, my whole day, when I filled my car with gas, I put more in than I was getting. And so, um, we kind of make sacrifices, give up an entire day to travel down there and cover. And I was just kind of shocked. So, but they had pizza at the concession stand, so I had pizza. Sat and
Man,
ate
but
my pizza. But,
man.
no, we had a couple of good games. 3A, we had a battle between Blackhawk Christian and Delta. It's the second year in a row that they've met in a regional, and for the second year in a row, Delta ends up getting the win. Last year, it was 2 points. This year, it was what was it? 10 points, 40-30, but it was not a 10-point game. It was basically a 2-point game that got extended with free throws late. But defensive battle, Blackhawk Christian playing without a couple of their key players who were out with injuries. Harden and Lacrosse both missed the game. It was tough for Blackhawk to win that game against a pretty good Delta squad without being fully healthy. Um, but how about game two?
Very good. Good stuff.
Nobody. I mean, everybody I talked to, Adam, and I'm not going to call out names, but I talked to 6, 7, 8 people during the week about the games that I knew followed high school basketball. Everybody told me Snyder was going to get smoked. That the level of basketball played by Carmel, Fishers, and those teams down in Indy was head and shoulders above what we were seeing in Fort Wayne, and there was no chance for Snyder to win this basketball game. But they do.
They won.
Won the game.
Oh, yeah.
Won the game. Now, Carmel had to play without a player who got ejected the week before, and so he was serving his 1-game suspension. That's not Snyder's fault. Carmel had a player that injured his knee, and hopefully he'll be okay. That wasn't Snyder's fault. Snyder got the opportunity, and Snyder took advantage and played well enough to beat the team that knocked off the Fishers Tigers the week before. So congratulations to Joshua Conan, who we really did ambush. I don't know if you heard post game
No, I
of
didn't.
the Snyder game.
I didn't hear the full post game, just your first segment.
Um, the game ended. We said, Snyder's regional champ, second time in their history. And as I'm talking, I'm sitting right there, of course. Joshua Conan is walking by.
Mhm.
Okay. And I just grabbed the mic, held it up in front of him, and on air just said, "Do you have a minute?" Well, it'd have been pretty embarrassing for him to say, "No, I'm not talking to you." So we really truly ambushed him, and he was more than generous to talk to us for a couple of minutes. But he was obviously very excited. He was very aware it was only the second time in school history that they had won a regional. And Snyder does have a tradition of some pretty good basketball teams that went through there.
No
Of
question.
course, Ray Sims had some pretty good teams on the floor, and only in 2009 were they able to survive a regional. That was back in the 2 games in 1 day regional rather than the 1 game regional. But anyway, it was quite a victory for Snyder, and you've got to give tons of credit to Jordan Woods, the 6'6" slender wing that had to come into the game because Snyder needed bodies. They're 2 bigs, Bertil and Pascal. They were both in foul trouble in the first half. They both had 2 fouls, and they were sitting, had to find somebody to come in and give you some minutes. They call on Jordan Woods, and all he does is come into the game and just light it up. Hit a 3, hit a couple of driving baskets, got a couple of key rebounds, including one very late in the game that maybe sealed the deal for Snyder. They were having trouble rebounding. So he was quite the hero off the bench. And of course, you can never overlook Xavier Wilson and what he does in running the show and dealing with the press. So Snyder is able to come up with the win and advance to the semi-state. And I don't know if you saw the pairing. Snyder will play Crown Point, and Homestead will play Northridge. And those games are going to be at Elkhart coming up this Saturday. It was announced by the IHSA today who plays who. So we could have 2 teams play for the right to go to the state championship game if both Homestead and Snyder win during the day. We
Wouldn't
could
that be
have all
something?
our hopes in one if we go 50-50. Or we could have a short day, 2 losses, come back home disappointed
Hopefully
if
not
they
that
don't,
one.
if neither one. But there's options. If
Mhm.
you have both of them playing each other, one will get eliminated, but one will automatically be playing that night. But when they don't play each other, if you look at the positive, it means, well, both teams could still advance and maybe play each other in the semi-state championship game, which would guarantee us of having a team at the state championship.
Uh,
That's what we're hoping.
yeah, that would be fantastic. So fingers crossed they can get it done in the, you know, semis, I guess, of the semi-state, if you want to call it that.
Uh, New Haven and Columbia City in 3A,
Mhm.
dominant. I don't think either one of these surprised at least me. I thought both teams would win, and they both won fairly handily, and so they're moving on to the next round. I did not look at 3A.
Mm,
I have to peek at it
that's fine.
um, because I had to review 4A because I knew that's where we're going next week. So I spent most of my time going through the 4A bracket to try to figure
Right.
out the times and looking then at the NCAA tournament schedule to figure out when Purdue. But see, Purdue playing Friday would not play again until Sunday. That means we've got all day Saturday where we don't
Mhm.
have a preemptible entity in our way to cover high school basketball. Um, okay, so in 3A, 3A will take place at Logansport at the Berry Bowl.
Good old
New
Berry
Haven
Bowl.
won there. I'd like to go there because I mean, it's a great trip, easy 4-lane highway out in the cornfield, straight to Logansport.
How's the hospitality?
Great.
There you
If the
go.
guy if the guy gets there on time, it's fantastic.
I remember that.
Yeah, he was a little late last time. Um, New Haven will play Delta.
Gotta get revenge.
Yeah, gotta rep the 260 and take care of business against Delta to send a message that you're not happy they took out one of our teams.
Yeah.
And then Columbia City takes on East Chicago Central, but Delta's 16-10 and East Chicago Central's 15-12. So you got to think there's chances here that Columbia City and New Haven are going to be the ones playing for the right to get to Indianapolis.
East Chicago, isn't that where they have the pizza at? East of Chicago? No, but anyway. It should be a good matchup, and hopefully New Haven and Columbia City both get the job done, and then we can have them in the championship in 3A as well. That'd be super cool at the Berry Bowl.
Westview had a comeback victory in 2A and they wwere down. Let's
Let's see.
see. Ryan's telling us that they were down 11
Yeah.
against Gary 21st Century. I know they were down because I was following the scores. Came back, got the win. Westview 25-1, and they will play LaPel, who's 21-5. Meanwhile, Lures gets a tough matchup. They get
Mhm.
Oak Hill, who's 25-1. And so Lures opens it up at Muncie Central at 10 a.m. and at noon, Westview LaPel. And
Hey.
1A, we don't really have a team that's
No.
in 1A.
No.
Monroe Central versus North Vermilion, Tri-County versus Triton. That's the story of the IHSAA. So look for us, though, to be in Elkhart. That's at least the way it looks at this point, is that we'll be there for Homestead versus Northridge, Snyder versus Crown Point.
Gonna be a
All
good
right,
one.
who's ready to talk bracket? I know you had the bracket talk right before we started our show, so a lot of you probably have seen the brackets, but got to talk a little bit about them.
Yeah.
First reaction: Purdue is back. 4 straight days victories against high-level competition in the Big Ten tournament. They were great today.
Mhm. They look like
I
a
mean, I've
different
been so
team.
impressed with Michigan all year long. Purdue was outstanding. And you know who was really good? Was Oscar Clough.
Yep.
The
He's looked
guy
really
that
good.
we have said worthless addition to this. No, we didn't say it. Adam
No.
said that
Hey.
Oscar Clough was a worthless addition to this basketball. You said it last week, Adam. I can go back and pull the tape.
I said I haven't been impressed whatsoever with the additions that Matt Painter has made, but hey, that
Okay,
was
so I
during the
dare
regular
you to
season.
pull the tape.
That was the regular season, Oscar Clough. I mean, they hit the Big Ten tournament and they all of a sudden hit the on switch. I don't
Yeah.
know what's gotten into him. I mean, if you had asked me at the start of the Big Ten tournament, what did I think Purdue was going to win? I would have told you, heck no. I think they look off their game, but now they're
This is the
coming into the
matchup
tournament
that he
hot.
would have had trouble. This
Yeah,
one, going against the 7-3 kid from Michigan and a lot of other size with Michigan, this is the game you would have thought, well,
yeah.
struggle. But
Mara and
instead, it turned
Lendenborg. Yeah.
into the reason Purdue could compete against all that height was because Clough was holding his own against them.
Yep.
He played physical, and they let him get away with it.
They did. But
It,
hey,
it was, I mean, it was physical around the basket.
Big Ten basketball, man. Big men banging in the paint. Why
2
not?
of the 3 officials in that game, by the way, worked multiple Mastodons games this year.
Shout out to them.
Well, the thing is, and it brings up a point I was just talking about yesterday, when in between games we were having a conversation, and I said, one of the things about the Mastodons, the roster was built with quickness, speed, and you could always say it was a finesse roster because it was more shooting and small guards. It wasn't a big physical pound you at the basket type of basketball team, right? So when
Right.
you get an officiating crew that's heavily influenced by Big Ten officials, which have a tendency to allow a lot of physical play, it did not help the Mastodons. It excuse me, it actually hurt them that there were not quick whistles, because as a finesse team they needed to get that, guy reaches out and tries to slow you down, and sometimes a little bit of a hold doesn't get called in the Big Ten. Or rebounding, we're trying to get inside position, they give you a little push or a bump, get you out of the way. Sometimes that's not called. And so it didn't help the Dons. And I never really thought about that. And so I think one of the real efforts being made by the Mastodons is to get more of a physical inside presence, get bigger, stronger at the basket. Because if you're going to have the Big Ten officials, you're going to have to play a physical game, because that's what the Big Ten officials allow. And the Horizon League always had kind of a second level of officials that weren't the guys doing the Big Ten games. This past year, there was a rotation where a lot of the Horizon games were getting guys that would do a Horizon game on Saturday and a Big Ten game on Sunday, or they would do the Big Ten on a Tuesday and a Friday, and then on Wednesday they would show up at a Horizon game. So we had a lot of Big Ten officials. DJ Carstensen did a couple of games for the Mastodons. And I always laugh when these Big Ten guys do a Mastodons game and they end up getting assigned one of the games that's played at the Gates Center. Because I'm like, the day before, they're at the Breslin Center in East Lansing, with 18, 19,000, right?
Right.
And then the next night, they put on the same uniform, grab the same whistle, and walk out to a gym of 1,600 people that has about 1,000 people in the seats. I have to laugh about that. I'm like, is this a shot to your ego when you walk in and this is what you have to do on a Wednesday night
I don't
to
know.
make a living?
Maybe, but at the same time, they just probably take whatever they can get. But at the same time, I don't know. I like the idea of getting the bigger man for the Purdue Fort Wayne team, though. That would be great.
I mean, it's not even about height. It's just a guy that's more physical, just
Hmm.
physical pounding, goes in and can battle guys and not get displaced. And no criticism of Max Nelson, but he was recruited as a shooter.
Hmm.
And they tried to develop him into a defender and a rebounder, and he busted his butt to try to do it, but that just
Hmm.
was not his strength. I mean, he'd go inside and get pushed around a little bit. And I'm not saying that to be critical of him. It's just that was not, it'd be like you, Adam, all of a sudden being brought in to be an offensive guard. It's like, well, we don't have anybody else. Adam, you're available. Um,
Yeah, I'd probably get pushed around a little bit.
me playing point guard in high school, which man, I could have done that.
Yeah,
Anyway, um, Purdue though, let me talk about the difference we saw with Purdue in this tournament. Saw it right off the snap, right from the very first game they played in the tournament. Purdue was much more active away from the ball, a lot more cutting, a lot more action and movement. It was not just Braden Smith, dribble, 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 ball screen, two-man game. It was five guys all making their man move with them. And what it does, it takes away some of the help defense, it takes away some of the help positioning. Purdue was very crisp. And then the other thing they did was they didn't let the ball get stuck always in Braden Smith's hands. They would give it to Braden. Braden would try to go off a ball screen. If it wasn't there, he passed it. Then it got passed back, and then it got passed and rotated to the other side. Then they made the extra pass into the corner. Then they fed the post. Then they kicked out. The ball was very active. We've not seen that from Purdue for a long time. I'd almost forgotten that was what Purdue, that's what made them special, was the way they could move the ball. And we've not seen it. And they not only did they cut and did they move and did they screen away from the ball, but they passed the ball rather than set up everything on the drive and the dribble. That makes Purdue better because they've only got one guy that's great with the ball on the deck, and that's Braden Smith. But they, I thought the balance we saw, the decision making, everything was better for Purdue. Now, today I did see in the second half, I thought some signs of fatigue. They had like three straight 3-pointers that hit the front rim. Fletcher Lawyer left a rebound short. So it might have been a team starting to hit a wall and get a little tired, and hopefully they'll be able to rest up. That's why I'm kind of glad they didn't have to play until the Friday. And
yeah.
I saw a comment online. Actually, you know who it was? It was Doug Gottlieb who made this comment. Teams that have to play on Sunday in tournament week should not have to play a Thursday game in the NCAA tournament. That's almost impossible to fully control just because of the way the venues are all set up. And if you want to put a team into the number one spot in the Midwest, you may have to put them into a Thursday game. It just, it's not as easily said as done or whatever. Um, but the point is, you can't always make sure that happens. But with Purdue, it did happen. They will not play until Friday, and so they get that extra day of rest. Um, that will work out well for them.
Yeah.
So Purdue gets in the first round,
Queens.
Queens,
Not out of Queens, New York. Queens of North
Queens
Carolina.
University in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I know that because number one, they have a volleyball program that has played the Purdue Fort Wayne program.
Oh.
And so I learned of the university there. But the other part of it is Bart Lundy, who is the head coach at Milwaukee, was hired from Queens, where he had been like for 5 years prior to going to Milwaukee. So they get Queens. They should not have a problem with Queens.
No, I mean, especially if they play the way they've been playing in the Big Ten tournament. I mean, just continue to do the way that you've done things up until now, and you could easily be, Elite Eight. I feel like, probably even farther if they play the way they looked, first half against Michigan, and then the rest of the tournament too. So,
Ryan's asking if college basketball needs more officials. No, it does not need more officials. What has to happen is you've got to get more officials that are capable of working bigger games, because what we're seeing and what Ryan's paying attention to is when he tunes on his TV and watches the biggest game for the night, he's always seeing the same officials showing up. Roger Ayers, 110 days of work or 120 during he gets like 7 days off from November to March. Um, you see a lot of the same officials, and that's because I think the bigger conferences don't want to put younger officials or mid-level officials into too many difficult, stressful positions too early in their careers. But you've got plenty of officials. I mean, the officials that work some of the mid-major conferences probably don't get as many games as they would like to get. Um, and then you've got the big officials who can't work games every night because the conferences they work don't play every night. And so to fill, they automatically are drawn in and working these other games. Um, but I mean, it's supposed to make the conference better by having better officiating. That's the goal. But it does also change the officiating when you take Big Ten officials who officiate the game a little different way because of the type of athletes they work most nights, than maybe the officials we used to have that were guys coming up from NAIA or the D3 level, and then they were coming up to D1 where the athletes were better than the athletes they had had. And so they have to adjust to a more physical, faster game, where the Big Ten officials have to adjust to a lower level of basketball. And it just, and the teams really are the ones that have to adjust because the officials don't change the way they call games. All right. I had kind of interesting. I went through, and as I watched the bracket announced, Adam, I
mhm,
was
mhm.
I was making notes right off the bat. They announced the East bracket, Duke, the number one overall seed, and I realized right away they put three Big Ten teams into that bracket: Michigan State, Ohio State, and UCLA, all in the same bracket as Duke.
Mhm.
Now I did some math and thought, wow, how deep are they going to go in the Big Ten that they had to put three teams into this bracket, all from the same conference? Turned out, I don't think they had any other region where they put three Big Ten teams. Then I saw Utah State come up as a number 9 seed. And I thought, that's ridiculous. Utah State, Mountain West, competitive conference. San Diego State is out there, New Mexico, Grand Canyon. Utah State, who is coached by the former Youngstown State coach, Jared Calhoun. Um, Utah State's had an unbelievable year. Not only won the regular season, won the conference tournament, and their reward is to not even get a top 8 seed out of a larger. I mean, it's still officially a mid-major, but it's like the West Coast Conference with Gonzaga. It's like you don't think of it as a mid-major conference because of the power of the teams that are in there. But Utah State getting a number 9. I
It's
saw the
low.
bracket projections, the bracketology, and they had them, I think, as a 7.
Mm.
But I
Yeah.
said Utah State is paying the price for the Mountain West laying an egg a year ago.
Mhm.
I think they went like 1-5 or 0-6 or something.
Wasn't good.
They invited a
Wasn't good.
bunch of Mountain West teams and they all flopped. And so this year they didn't invite hardly any, and then they screwed the top team from the conference and did not give them much of a favorable seeding. Although I will tell you, take them on your bracket. They're playing Villanova I think Villanova's got an injury they're dealing with. I like Utah State in that 8-9 matchup.
Okay.
I don't like them against Arizona, who I think they would have in the second round.
No.
High Point getting Wisconsin. Very intrigued by this.
A lot of people already jumping on the High Point Panthers.
Now, it is a 12-5, and, historically, everybody loves to bet the 12-5 upset. But again, like we mentioned earlier in the show, don't get sucked in too much on those 12-5s. It's the 11-6 that actually has seen more upsets in the last 10 years. But High Point is 30-4. And they got a kid, Chase Johnston, who's, I think, in his 6th year of college basketball. I'm
Super
trying to
senior, huh?
remember when I met him at Purdue Fort Wayne. He was a recruit that actually was on campus in September. Had a health issue within his family. His father had a health issue. He wanted to get back to Florida, where he was from. He, young kid, 18 years old, didn't know what to do, but felt like he couldn't stay. He needed to be closer to his dad. He ended up not leaving and never came back. But he is he's a slinger, man. He's going to shoot it from anywhere in the half court. And he's like a 40-some% three-point shooter, high volume. And so that's one of those games after you just saw Wisconsin and Purdue go 90-something to 90-something. That might be one of those games that gets ridiculously high scoring with the way Wisconsin plays and how High Point will not shy away from quick tempo and three-point shots. But that will be an intriguing first-round game. Purdue, when they got the 2 seed, my eyes got big. I thought, wow. Everybody said that the Big Ten tournament game, the championship game, can't count in the bracket because it's too late. It did count. Now, I don't know if they had to win it to get the 2 seed or just by making it if they automatically bumped up, but it mattered that they got there. So the Big Ten tournament does have some impact. Okay. Love the Horizon League matchup of Wright State versus Virginia. 14 versus 3. I think Wright State matches up with Virginia pretty well. There were a couple of 3 seeds, like Michigan State, I think, was a 3 seed. And I thought, that wouldn't be good. Illinois, I think, ended up as a 3 seed, and I thought that wouldn't be good.
No,
Just
hey,
too athletic, too long, too big. But I
yeah,
think they can match up with Virginia. I
interesting.
know Virginia's been pretty good, and they're from the ACC, but hey, the Horizon League already has a win over an ACC team this year.
Yep, Purdue Fort Wayne over the Fighting Irish.
There's precedent.
Now, is Notre Dame the top of the ACC? No, but hey,
No, but either
it's
was
still a
Purdue
win over
Fort
the conference. Yeah, that's true.
Purdue Fort Wayne was the 6th seed. So here you've got the number 1 seed who won the regular season championship, won the postseason tournament, and
Yeah.
I mean that's going to be a pesky team that takes on Virginia.
Looking forward
Miami,
to it. Of Ohio? Which one are we
yes,
talking about? Yeah, I'm just
of
making sure.
Ohio.
The other one made
Again,
it too.
this was initial thoughts as I went through the bracket. As they
Mhm.
announced it, when I saw a game, if I had some kind of a reaction, I wrote it down. Miami, SMU, play in, Dayton. Well, kind of interesting that undefeated regular season wasn't good enough to get them off the play-in line. But the head of the selection committee did say that they were not on the bubble and that the
No.
team they're matched up against was the last team in the field. So I guess what they're saying is if you truly believe you deserve a spot, we'll put you against the last team we're putting in and see if you're better than them.
I don't hate it personally. I mean, if
It's close
so
to home. It's only
Yeah.
like a 25-minute drive, I think, from Oxford to Dayton.
Yeah, it feels like this is kinda like a show us and prove it type of game. I mean, it's like it's this one is for all the, strength of schedule haters out there. It's like, "Okay, we're gonna show you that they're better than their strength of schedule in the first 4."
And how about Penn? I've watched
That's what
that
I was
Ivy
gonna
League.
say. Yeah, how
How
about,
about Fran McCaffrey
Fran?
getting the Penn job and in his first year taking him through the Ivy League with the championship? And where did the bracket match them?
Big Ten,
Against Illinois, which,
Brad
Illinois,
Underwood.
Iowa, bordering states.
Yep. Brad
Oh, perfect.
Underwood and Fran McCaffrey are very familiar with each other, so
Yes, they
that's
are.
that's gonna be a fun one.
Yep. And see, that's the game I thought might have flipped. I thought
Mm.
that might have been the possibly that Illinois was the 2 until Purdue made it to the championship, and then Purdue became the 2. Illinois dropped into Purdue's spot at the 3. So that could have been Penn versus Purdue, and it turned out being Penn versus Illinois.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right. Before we break down any more of the bracket, I got to give you some details on how you can win front row Tin Caps tickets.
Let them know.
Front row. It is front row near the dugout, right by the on deck circle. 2 tickets. I have them in my possession. Bought, paid for, and delivered. They can be yours. First of all, you've got to be a subscriber to the channel. So if you've not taken the step to subscribe, you do have to subscribe. Also, click the like button and leave a quick comment about the show. But the main thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the bracket challenge. And for convenience, I use the ESPN format. So you go to the ESPN bracket challenge, and I will post this on my Twitter later. But we will give you a link to a special bracket challenge that you can fill out. And in true Brett Rump fashion, I am not limiting you to just one bracket,
Nice.
but I am limiting you to 3 brackets. Because I think sometimes the fun is in having multiple chances.
Sure.
So I'm going to give you up to 3 brackets that you can enter on our group contest in the bracket challenge. And as long as you subscribe, you have liked and commented, and you have gotten signed up through our link for the Sports Rush, and the name of our group is Sports Rush. That simple, Sports Rush. You go ahead and fill it out. It'll give you 3 entries or 3 brackets that you can make as part of that group. And if you have the best bracket and are our bracket champion, 2 tickets, front row, Tin Caps game, Friday night, end of April.
Fantastic.
How about that?
I like it. I think everybody should sign up and get those brackets. And best of luck to everybody because that's
So
that's an awesome prize. Yeah, do that.
subscribe on YouTube. You have to be a subscriber on YouTube. You also have to drop a comment. We would love to have just some comment. Just say, "I'm in. I'm in the contest. Let's go." Pick your team. If you got an upset, throw that in the comments. Whatever you've got for comments, and um, then fill out your bracket. And you got to have all the brackets in by the deadline on ESPN, which I think is what, noon for the first
I,
round,
I believe
noon
so.
on Thursday, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Brian saying he'd love to see Penn pull off the upset of Illinois.
I'm sure a lot of people would.
All right, so that's the details. How you can win 2 tickets, front row, Tin Caps game. Now
There
let's
you
go
go.
ahead and look at the bracket and pick some winners. Okay.
All
Duke's
right.
number 1 overall seed. They're not going to get beat by Siena.
No.
Ohio State, TCU. This to me is kind of hard to pick because I think the 2 teams are mirrored images of each other.
Hmm.
They both were kind of middle of the pack in a powerful conference, and so I whoever's hot that day, I could go either way on this one. Um, I like the personnel with Ohio State, but they've also disappointed me as much as they've impressed me this year. Ohio State, TCU, that's an 8-9 matchup. And then St. John's versus Northern Illinois or Northern Iowa, and St. John's will cruise.
Mhm.
And then you've got Kansas versus Cal Baptist, CBU. And I'll be honest, I'd love to be able to pick CBU to knock off. This is like my Bucknell over Kansas from like 25 years ago. But Kansas, I think, is just going to be too much for Cal Baptist.
Yeah, agreed.
Louisville, and then bottom half of that bracket is Louisville will be the 6th seed against 11 seed South Florida. Remember, this is where they said the 11s are 52%.
Yeah, I like South Florida. They can play, man. So
25-8, a Louisville team that maybe hasn't played their best basketball over the last month or so of the season. So that might be a vulnerability there. Then you've got Michigan State against North Dakota State. I've been impressed with North Dakota State. I've had a chance to see them a couple of times. But Michigan State is so big, strong, and physical. I don't see North Dakota State having the horses to compete with Michigan State.
yeah,
It might be closer than some expect, but Michigan State's going to win that game.
agreed.
And or otherwise, Dave Richmond will become the coach of March rather than Tom Izzo. All right, so UCLA gets a 7 seed. They take on Central Florida. I I think it all comes down to UCLA's health.
Mhm.
They lost Dent in that game against Purdue. If they don't have they don't get healthy and get their guys back, um, they're going to be in trouble against Central Florida. But at this point, I'm saying they'll be healthy, they'll be back, and I'll take UCLA.
Yeah, I'll go Central Florida. Why not?
UConn, Furman,
Nah, I got UConn
nice
there.
season, Furman. Thanks for joining.
Paladins.
Florida takes on a play-in winner.
Yep.
Lehigh, Prairie View, Florida, no problem. Clemson, Iowa.
I'm taking Iowa.
I'll lean Iowa, but that is a tough 8-9 matchup.
It is. I'm just going off gut feeling entirely. No thought process. Just give me Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah, we already saw that earlier, Ryan.
Yeah.
Indiana's done. They announced they were done when they got beat before.
Mhm.
Vanderbilt,
There's my team.
McNeese
I picked Vanderbilt as my surprise deep run team.
against McNeese.
Yep,
Remember, they pulled off the upset last year.
they
Made a
did.
star of their student manager.
The Amir
He's
guy.
back.
Yep.
McNeese is back. Is the magic back for McNeese? The
Uh,
28-5.
I need it to not be back for my Vanderbilt prediction to be correct. So let's go Commodores.
Nebraska and Troy.
I'll take Nebraska.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good pick. North Carolina, of course, they lose their star freshman, and then they drop a line or two on the seeding because of it. They take on VCU, one of the hotter teams in the country. I'm taking VCU to beat North Carolina.
All right, I'll
VCU's
take
hot. They're confident. I'm taking VCU.
the Tar Heels to make it at least one round. Although VCU did just win against Dayton today in pretty dramatic, or not dramatic, but solid fashion. So
Adam, do you not listen to anything I say?
not really. You know
I know.
me. I'm
I
in my
know.
own world over here.
I know. VCU, number 11 seed. North Carolina, number 6. I'm
Could
taking
happen.
VCU. That's my 6-11.
There
I'm
you go.
taking VCU. Um, Let's see. Illinois, Penn, we talked about.
Yeah.
Um, I I I don't like Fran McCaffrey, I never have,
He can
okay?
coach, but I don't like his
But
personality
I
either.
thought he just always was a jerk on the sideline. He's like Mick Cronin.
Yeah, just
Probably
too
can coach,
dramatic.
understands the game and XOs, but don't treat media rude and don't be a idiot on the sideline.
Yeah.
Fran McCaffrey was a little bit of both at times, so I've never liked Fran McCaffrey. But
Underwood can get heated too. I mean, he
yeah,
doesn't
but he's
do
going up against a guy that's probably next on my list.
Yeah.
But I think Illinois is too strong. I think Illinois wins.
What's the over under on a whiteboard being snapped in half at this
Yeah.
game?
Yeah. St. Mary's takes on Texas A&M, and I've watched that West Coast. I watched St. Mary's, Gonzaga. Gonzaga, I'm much more impressed with than St. Mary's. But St. Mary's finished 27-5. I mean, they've got a hell of a record.
Mhm.
But that's a toss-up for me. Even though St. Mary's is 7, Texas A&M is 10, I cannot boldly step forth and put St. Mary's on my line. This is why games like this, Adam, this is why there's 3 brackets to enter our contest. Because there's gonna be a couple of games where you're just completely split, and then what you do is you just take 2 brackets and you put one on one, and the other bracket, you can pick the other team. So, that's the way I'm going with St. Mary's and Texas A&M.
Yeah, for that one, it kinda comes down to the three-point shooting for me for Texas A&M because they take almost 10 more three-pointers a game, so if those are falling, I think it's Texas A&M, but, yeah, give me the Aggies, why not?
Houston, no problem with Idaho.
No, and I took Houston to get to the Final Four, so I need that
Ooh,
to
you took
happen.
them as the winner of that entire bracket.
Yeah, that's a tough bracket, but,
All right, let's go to, I don't know what bracket this is, West Regional. We're going to the
okay.
West. Arizona, number 1 seed, 32 and 2. They've got LIU. I believe that is Long Island.
Yep,
It's
the
much better.
Sharks.
It's a better T than a basketball team, so I will take Arizona.
Yeah,
In
I think
fact, it's
there's
the
a
battle of the T, right? Isn't Arizona an iced tea brand?
it sure
It's the
is.
battle of the tea. Do you like your Arizona or your Long Island? Take your pick.
I know which one I like more out of those 2, but
And you're
as
still
far
taking Arizona.
yeah, as far as basketball is concerned, I'm taking the Wildcats over the Sharks.
I already said I'm taking Utah State over Villanova in the 8-9 game.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that 9 over 8.
Wisconsin High Point.
Uh,
This is a 5-12. It is not a 6-11. It's a
it
5-12 game.
it's tempting to take those Panthers, man. It's tempting.
I mean, Wisconsin hits shots and they are tough to beat.
They are.
But I've
Boyd is a
also
great
seen
player.
them at times get out of sync and um it's tough not to pick High Point as an one of the upset favorites with their
Yeah.
record 30-win team. But I think when push comes to shove, I have to write Wisconsin on my next line or
Give
click the Wisconsin button and let the computer do it for me.
I'll go with the Panthers just for fun. I mean, I'm not writing
Many
this down, but
Most people would not know that's the High Point Panthers.
yeah, I've seen them too much. I know their mascot.
Arkansas, Hawaii, Arkansas the 4. I gotta go with Calipari.
Yeah, give me the Razorbacks over the Rainbow Warriors there.
Okay, another 6-11 game here. This is something to chew on.
Yeah.
BYU has to take on the winner of North Carolina State and Texas.
To
That to me is a very difficult 6-11 game because
yeah,
the 11 that's gonna get there is a power conference team.
those are big names.
I think it will
So
be Texas, but,
me too.
um, either way, BYU versus North Carolina State, Texas.
I'm gonna take BYU. I think Tabansa will have a good game in that first round.
Gonzaga takes on Kennesaw State. I think Gonzaga wins that.
Yeah.
Kennesaw State, lack of tournament experience.
Uh,
Miami of Florida. There's 2 Miamis in the field.
yep.
Miami of Florida is taking on Missouri. Dennis
I'll,
Gates, former coach at Cleveland State,
oh,
coaching the Missouri Tigers. I don't know. I
I'm
think
taking
I
the
will
U.
lean Miami.
Yeah, I'm taking the Miami Hurricanes.
Purdue, Queens. Got
Give
to
me
be
the
Boilers.
Yeah, give me the Boilers.
Michigan, Howard, UMBC. Let me say this though.
Yeah.
If you're picking anything that involves the first round play-in games, this UMBC team, 12 straight wins. They've been one of the hottest teams in the country. They haven't lost since late January. I think UMBC is going to continue to roll. They will beat Howard. I mean, it's one man versus four letters. How can Howard just is not going to have a chance? No, UMBC, I think, will win this, but then Michigan will humble UMBC. Michigan
Not
is
a
so big. I looked at their roster. 7'3", 6'9", 6'9", 6'8". I
bunch of
mean,
trees. Yeah.
that's their starting lineup. Just too much size for either one of those teams.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be another 16-1 upset for, whichever one of those teams makes it out of UMBC or Howard against Michigan.
I'm going with another number 9 seed. Georgia
Mm,
takes on St. Louis. So I know St. Louis has been just garbage the last 2-3 weeks of the season.
mhm.
They had all this mojo. They were 24-1. Now all of a sudden they're 28-5. They're playing 500 basketball over the last month, but I like them over Georgia. I think the committee overrated the Southeast Conference, and I think Georgia is one of the teams that got in that probably could have been closer to a bubble team. I'm going to go with St. Louis to beat Georgia.
Yep, give me, Robbie Avila and the Billikens.
Texas Tech, Akron.
Akron's a good team, man.
Give me the Zips. Texas Tech can beat really big teams. I mean, they've knocked off some giants, but the Zips can come up and surprise you.
They
Uh,
can.
I picked the Zips to win the MAC tournament, not the regular season. But if you remember, you can go back to the clips. I said that Miami would not win the tournament, that Akron would win the tournament. Akron won the tournament. And so the MAC gets two teams in with Miami and a play-in in Dayton, and then the Akron Zips getting a number 12 seed and playing Texas Tech. I I really like Akron. Then you got Hofstra and Alabama. Alabama scores a ton of points.
Mhm.
If the shots aren't falling, Hofstra might have a chance, but Alabama has proven it all year. 23-9. I think Alabama beats Hofstra.
Yeah, think the tide will roll first round.
Here's the 6-11 game. It's going to be Tennessee versus the winner of SMU Miami.
Mm. I'm still
And these are the types of games where we find out if the SEC was overrated. The
Yeah.
games like Georgia versus St. Louis, or the games like Tennessee versus SMU Miami. Um, I I'm probably going to take Tennessee
Same.
reluctant.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather see the other side win, but I'm going to give it to the Volunteers.
Virginia and Wright State. I'm going with Wright State, the Raiders. How can you not pick
14-3
the Raiders?
very easily by taking Virginia, but,
Yeah, you could. You could take the Cavaliers.
I probably will. I'll probably take Virginia, unfortunately, but I'll be rooting for Wright State.
But if Wright State pulls the upset, I'm ahead of everybody in the bracket.
No, yeah, you'll have all the points.
I'll sit in my own damn seats.
I bought them. I'll sit there.
I bought them. I want them. I'm sitting here. Give me a headset.
There you go. Call it
Calling the
from the
game from the front row tonight.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. We need to plan for that.
Yeah, I mean, we've done
Although
it from the
although
outfield.
don't plan for it in April. Let's
No.
plan for it like in June sometime.
Nice sunny night, yeah.
Yeah. Sit in some seats by the field and call the game. That would be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Kentucky, Santa Clara. I'll tell you what, Santa Clara could be the team that pulls the upset here. It's only a 7-10 matchup. I think Kentucky's vulnerable. Again, another one of those games where we test the SEC to see if they were overrated by the committee. I I think I will make it official. I'm going Santa Clara to knock off Kentucky.
All right, I'll take the Wildcats. I'll be boring.
And then Iowa State against Tennessee State.
I gotta
I
go
picked
the
Iowa State
Cyclones.
as one of my Final Four teams. So,
Yeah.
um, now they're in the Michigan bracket, which I also picked Michigan to be a Final Four team. So,
Ah. Hey, you'll maybe have one out of the two.
all right, give us your thoughts on the bracket and make sure you enter our contest for your chance to win front row Tin Caps tickets to a weekend game end of April. We've got your tickets front row by the on deck circle, Tin Cap side, and they're great seats, by the way. Um, so Ryan is also taking Santa Clara. He's on my side. But
Santa Clara.
but if you want to win, all you've got to do is subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like. Make sure you click the alert button. Leave a comment, and then sign up through ESPN's Bracket Challenge. Look for the group Sports Rush. That's our group, and then register and sign up your bracket. Whoever has the best bracket at the end of the tournament is going to get 2 tickets front row to a Tin Caps game end of April.
Sounds good to me.
Absolutely. All right, that'll just about do it for us. Got to wrap it up, but always appreciate all the people that tune in. Thanks. Before you go, make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you leave the comment. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and sign up. Be a winner. Bracket Challenge, Sports Rush, 2 tickets, front row, Tin Caps, late April, weekend game. I think it's a Friday. See if I can take a peek real quick
Yeah, but
and see.
everybody definitely sign up,
Yeah,
subscribe.
I tried to see if I've got these where I can tell you exactly what day. Oh no, it logged me out. I got to go through the login process again to go look at the tickets.
You'll post the info though.
I mean, they're I think it's the last Friday in April, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but it's 2 tickets, section 106, I believe.
Great stuff.
108, 106. It's I know the tickets are located right near the on deck circle for the Tin Caps, very front row. So you'll love them. All right. Have a great week. Stay with us. We'll hope you have a great tournament. Maybe we'll pop out and watch them with you if you let us know where. Just leave a comment. All right, Adam. Have a great week. Talk to you next week.
See you later.
See ya.